Greetings, listeners, and welcome to The Spiritual Experience, a show where we share stories of life, love, and redemption for all of humanity on Earth. So sit back and enjoy. Try to identify with the speakers and not compare. Don't forget to subscribe on all podcast platforms. I'm your host, Jay Lewis, and here we go. Hey, welcome back, Spiritual Experience. What up, fam-a-lam? Nice to be alive. Nice to be around. We're all lucky. Hope everybody's having a good time. Yesterday, I turned 43 years old. Man, I don't feel like an old fuck. Isn't that nice? It feels really good. Like I don't feel like an old man. Yeah, I feel like a middleman, like middle-aged man, I guess. You know, I don't know. I actually finally got around to, I'm going to be moving my jacket around. I'm trying to hang it on the chair. Sorry if it makes a lot of noise. It's whatever. I want to be comfortable. Do my thing. Yeah, so this past week, what happened? What do we got going on? I went and I recorded a show for my boy John. He's got a show called 40 and Fit. You know, he says it's like a deep dive into the midlife crisis or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how he remembers all that stuff, but it was a really fun time. A couple of young guys. You know, me and John were a little bit of like the elder statesmen, I think. I don't know. I think the other guys are a little younger than us. So whatever, we was up there spinning yarn, talking smack about life and about where we are, how we got there. And it was nice, man. It was cool. It was great just to see him. What was funny for me is, and my boy John, he's in pretty good shape. You know, he's a personal trainer. I'm going to get him on this show so you guys can meet him. He's got a real life, man. He's got a bunch of kids. He's kind of doing his thing. You know, we've all gone through whatever it is, you know, that slice of whatever, you know. And, it was tough. I don't know, tough. I mean, what do I know? You know, what do I know? But either way, so I was telling him because I'm going to be running my first half marathon at the end of April. I was like, yeah, I said, I'm training, you know, so I stopped like weightlifting so much in the last few weeks at all, really. Just like a little bit of strength training and running, man. Every other day or every couple of days last week was my first like real commitment to running. As far as like not exercise, but I'm training. So like I ran, I think, today's Saturday. So that's 1 week, 7 days running or 7 days worth of running. I don't know. I ran 3 times. Total was 18 miles, so which is pretty good. So this week I'll try to build that up. Maybe I'll get up to like maybe 22 miles maybe. You know, the week after 25 miles or something. I don't know. A little bit at a time, just kind of build it up. And and when I told him, bro, he's like, what, at this age? And I was like, it didn't even dawn on me that I guess it was a thing to be, you know, 42, turning 43 and running a half marathon. You know, I was just like, yeah, it was great. It made me feel good about myself. And that was it was the thing. Well, I'm adjusting the headphones too. Sorry. Yeah, so it made me feel good because like, bro, there are people in my life. Most of the people in my life are pretty physically active. You know? And, because we're trying to fucking get after it, bro. Who the hell wants to be old and creaky and whatever? Like, I don't want to be that guy. I find it's not even physically uncomfortable. I find it mentally, and we just spoke a little bit about it in the show, was, like I exercise now for my mental well-being because it's not that even like, I want to look good and whatever. And it's like 30 or 40% of that, because you can never, unless I start really going back, in time And you know how to do that? Testosterone. That's the only way to really, get that 25 or 30-year-old body. And so, yeah, I'm not really obsessed with that at all. So, yeah, just to be physically in shape and just for health, really. Health is like so important, man. I've been talking about it this whole time that like health is like such a big thing. It's a lifestyle. It's one of the reasons why I wasn't really that super, super concerned about the corona shit, and I don't get sick that often. I see some of these people and I'm like, fuck, man, this is, this is how you're looking now. That was, I told you, I showed my girl some of the, that's the good thing about Facebook. You'd be like, geez, man, I ain't got it so bad, man. Some of these people are really slacking, because, health is everything, health is everything. So, yeah, his show is called 40 and Fit. Hopefully it'll drop soon. And you guys can enjoy that. I'll try and share it as best I can. Get some more spins. We definitely would always love more listeners, so that way we can help more people. And, we went into the stuff. Like, I guess midlife crisis. Like, I don't even know what that means in some ways. And I had to, like, think about when that kind of stuff happened. And then, what is a midlife crisis actually? I wonder what the definition is. I really do. Let me look it up. Hold on. I'm texting my kid when you are on the way. Yeah, because she takes classes at Pratt on Saturday because she's a fucking beast when it comes to the painting and the artwork and all that other stuff. And we're downtown Brooklyn today, inside the shop, milling around. Let's see, midlife crisis age. There's midlife crisis for men and women. Okay. Oh my God, Wikipedia. Does that mean it's true? Because it's on Wikipedia? What the fuck? I don't know. Midlife crisis is a transition of identity and self-confidence that can occur in middle-aged individuals, typically 45 to 65 years old. The phenomenon is described as a psychological crisis brought about by events that highlight a person's growing age, inevitable mortality, and possibly lack of accomplishments in life. This may produce feelings of intense depression, remorse, high levels of anxiety, or the desire to achieve youthfulness, or make drastic changes to their current lifestyle, or feel to wish to change past decisions and events. Studies on midlife crisis have shown that they are less common than popularly believed. According to Valiant, I don't know what that is, in his 75-year, what the fuck does that say? Longitudinal study on adult development, he found midlife crisis were rare experiences for people involved in the study. Yeah, I don't know if I buy all of that. 45 to 65. So what does that mean? That means that, like, okay, typically how the picture was like kind of painted to me most of my life was like, oh yeah, the guy, he's like, in his mid-40s. I don't even know. I'm going to say 50. I thought it was like 50 because midlife to me is like 50. I used to think that people live to 100. But apparently it's not the case. So they're like, yeah, he's going to go out and buy a sports car and, get divorce his wife and get a younger wife. I think that's what it was, or how it was relayed to me, that's what a midlife crisis was. And I'm like, it's a little bit fucking, I didn't think about it in a negative way. I thought about it like in a cheesy way. To me, there's nothing more cheesy than like that picture, like the painted picture. Oh, he's going to go out and get a red sports car. I think that was like, this is basically what I'm dreaming, right? He's going to get a red sports car and he's going to be 50 and his chick is going to be 20 and she's going to be with him for the money and whatever. and he's gonna leave like a bitter 50-year-old wife at home. Yeah, that's what I thought. You know, maybe because I'm from the 80s, and that's what it was. You know, but to me, I'm just like, I don't see. Yeah, I don't know. What can I say? What is that brought about by? You know, and how does that happen? I'm going to try and break down my theory, because none of that is happening for me, about how that could happen to somebody. You know, how that could happen. And, oh man, I'm always thirsty. Okay, so what's the theory? The theory is like, I don't think that kind of stuff, if it's that stereotypical thing, I don't think it just falls out of the sky. I don't think the guy wakes up one day and is like, you know what? I just want to, I want this super plastic, whatever, superficial, if you want to call it superficial, like costume, like the hot girl or whatever, like the young whatever, like my brother-in-law says, the hot young thing, that hot young thing. I think that's how he says it. He's Ecuador. He's not my brother-in-law yet. He ain't married to my sister-in-law. But like the guy loves her, and that's how he kind of looked at it. He's like, oh, this is my hot young thing. I was like, good for you, bro, because he's 50, but he don't have no convertible, and he's a fucking gentleman, and I love him. But either way, so, all right, where are we? So, yeah, I don't think that kind of stuff comes out of nowhere, personally. And I believe sorry, I had to reach for one of these Gatorades without pulling this whole thing out of. Okay, all right, now I'm really in. Sorry. I'm sorry. Give me some fucking slack. So, yeah, like, I don't think that kind of stuff falls out of nowhere. I think just from the man's perspective, it all depends on what kind of relationship you're in, what kind of woman you got. All of that stuff matters, And I think the only way that you could get to that place where the guy's like, he's basically like, fuck it. And women, yes, I'm talking to you. Yes, I'm talking to you. That's like the Twilight Zone thing. I don't know, this button. Where's the other button that I like? Is it this one? Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. So, yeah, like women think that the guy's stupid. He's like, oh, he's going to go after this young girl, and he's going to, what's wrong with him? And it's like, no, the guy's not stupid at all. He's not fucking stupid. He may be slightly delusional, but he ain't stupid. He might just be tired of you. And that might be it. He might just be tired of you. He might just be tired of, like, I don't know. Maybe you're a pain in the ass. Maybe it's that. Maybe you nag him. Relationships are so tough. They're tough to kind of wrestle into submission, right? And that means, and be happy. It's not easy, not at all. But like a guy that does that puts on that costume, yeah, I'm going to go get a new car. I'm going to join the gym. I mean, now it's a whole different thing. Now the guy's going to fucking take some steroids. And he's going to be, there's nothing worse than a 50-year-old guy taking fucking steroids and he's trying to look jacked. But, you can't really look the same jacked. But whatever, you can always rope something in. You can get a fish in the boat. So, yeah, there's nothing worse than when I see that. Like, to me, that looks like gross. And I'm sure to some of these young birds, that also looks gross. But, hey, look, man, they know that the guy's got bread. And they know that the guy's got an ex-wife. They know that the guy's capable of taking care of them, buying them a bunch of shit and whatever. And, so they latch themselves onto him because he wants to have a good time. And he doesn't want to fucking send 25 text messages at once and all this other shit. And some of these young women, they're into that kind of stuff. They want to be taken care of or whatever. But the guy's not basically, he's not running out into the street, into this midlife crisis on his own. Like his partner or his wife is part of that equation. And I know they don't want to understand that. And they don't want to hear that. But that is the absolute truth. Part of the reason that I don't think it's like psychologically completely, I think it has to do with, with that, with the whole picture. All of it has to be true. So, sorry. This episode's going to be all over the place. I apologize. I already hit the buttons twice. I'm drinking this Gatorade Zero. My brain is wherever. We're getting emails all over the fucking place. So, yeah. So he didn't run out there into the fire on his own. Now, if he's going to go out there and mess around with these young chicks, a couple of things that he needs to know, this is where maybe the delusion can come in, is that it's going to be rare that one of these young birds is going to stay. So if he's 50 and maybe he gets some chick that's like 30 or in their 20s, I don't know, maybe some people think that's gross. I am not 50 and I am not 20, so I don't know. I know that like I said, I just turned 43. And if I was single, which I would do everything in my power to never, ever have that be part of my life ever again. But if I was single right now, it's 43. Fuck, man. I don't even know if I could date a girl that was 35. She would have to be minimum 40. If it was going to go younger, I could definitely go older. That I could do too, depending on, how this person takes care of themselves. But this guy's being introduced to something that he doesn't have anymore, which is like a fresh start, And a lot of those typical midlife crisis things is because these people, they're getting together, man, in their fucking 20s. You get married in your 20s because that's like old school, like similar to like, my dad was, I don't even know how old he was. Maybe he was 25 or something when he met my mom. And my mom was just turning 30. And my mom not having kids and not being married at 30, she was considered old, especially in Hispanic community. Not so much the marriage part, because marriage is an option in my family. I'm just putting that out there. But to not have babies or anything, my mom was like the last one. She was holding out all the way to the end. So to think about this kind of stuff where, I have friends of mine that they're, and it's nobody specific, in case you think I'm talking about you. I'm just saying in general that I have people that I know that are in this area of their life and their homes are falling apart, and they've been together a long time. And in that long time, they either grow apart or like the fire is gone or the flame is gone, or I don't even know what's gone, but it ain't there anymore. It just ain't there. And the woman needs to be set free too. And there's plenty of women out there, hanging out with these young studs. Or they're just out there being single, living their best life. And that's cool. Especially, you meet, I know women that are in their 50s that are out there and they're doing it. They're doing it. And it's funny. It's great to see. Good for them. Nobody, like, you're not a hoe if you passed, 25 or something. Or 30, then there's no whole phase. There's like something else it's called or whatever. But it's good for you. Either way. So yeah, the midlife crisis, and that's what happens. So I can't even imagine being with somebody when I was that age in my 20s. I mean, I've been a dad a long time. I've been a dad. Well, my son's my oldest. He's 27, bro. So I've been a dad for 27 years. And in that time, the amount of growing up that I had to do, there's no way. Like if I was with a woman that whole time and she never left, and all of the things that I screwed up learning how to be an adult, Jesus Christ, man. We would fucking hate each other, or we would just be existing, right? We would just be like, well, this is what we know. And, sometimes, like, especially in some cultures, people stay together for the kids. And, yeah. And I guess that's what it is. But, times have changed, and sometimes times have not changed. But I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on that. I know that I'm a firm believer in 2-parent household, even if it's 2 separate houses. But 2 parents is like big deal, you know, because you need more than one perspective on what's going on. Otherwise, your kid is just going to be like one, it's only going to have one set of eyes, which is no good. You know, they need to have a lot of them, at least 2 at minimum. So, yeah, the midlife crisis, what happens? The guy wakes up, he's like, yo, fuck this place, man. I've been eating shit from this girl for fucking this long, and all I do is I give in. She's a pain in the ass. Now she's all dumpy and shit. She doesn't take care of herself. She doesn't fucking do any of this stuff. Look, you know what I'm saying? And then he's like, look at me. Look at what I turned into. Fuck all this. And if I'm going to be eating shit, it ain't going to be with this one or whatever. I don't know. That's what I would think. That's what I would think. But then again, what do I know? Because I'm not there. So that's what I would think. So if he's going to be eating shit, he's going to be like, dude, maybe if he's doing it, like I said, with that equation, with the young woman and the red convertible car, he's like, dude, if I'm going to be eating shit, it's going to be with this young fucking girl, And now I know how to navigate that kind of stuff or whatever, And good for him if that's what he wants to do. As long as he doesn't, as long as he takes care of his kids or whatever. And obviously the woman is allowed to go and live her life. There's plenty of men out there for women. It doesn't have to be like, oh, my husband left me. Now I'm like this fucking, that nobody wants me. That's like bullshit. And that is really not the case, because some of these like, divorced women, bro, there's men lining up for them. Easily, there's men lining up for them. So I don't know if the midlife crisis is because of that specifically, that they wake up one day and they don't have the life that they want. Or they're just like, dude, this is diminishing returns. Because initially you put in work and you do stuff in order to get something back, right? This is like perception. This is what you believe. And then a little bit at a time, the stuff you get back is not really stuff that you want or stuff that you like. It's just like, oh, I get stuff back, but it comes with this little speck of horse shit on it, right? And then I'm getting more stuff back that has like horse shit on it. And then after a while, I'm just getting horse shit. And then they say, dude, what am I doing with myself? I'm not going to be here that much longer. I might as well fuck it and just have a good time and enjoy myself or do whatever I want to do. And that's what happens. That's what happens. And then they pull the trigger. And it doesn't come out of nowhere. I know some of these women, man, I hear them crying like, oh my God. I'm not physically crying, but like they're complaining like, I don't understand why he's going out there and doing this and doing that. What the fuck? I did all this and this is what I get. I'm like, yeah, you didn't just do all that. It's so rare that there's any even accountability with women. Like it's like fucking, dude, like almost never that some woman will be like, you know what? Part of this is because I poke him. And yeah, and I fuck with him a little bit. And yeah, part of it is my fault. There's, even my own mother, the level of accountability is so small. They just never. I've yet to meet one that was really, accountable. Like, listen, I'm sorry. I wish I could have done this. And I know that I did this to you and I'm sorry. Like, are you fucking crazy, bro? Like, that's fucking, come on, bro. Come on. Come on. I've been in the therapist's office in couples therapy with my woman, and we go through something, and even the therapist is like, I think maybe you should apologize. And like I was like, fucking for what? I don't think so. I don't think I should have. I'm not going to apologize. Can you imagine Like if you're trying to have a long-term relationship with somebody and even be in love and have the respect, whatever, or even just forget about romance. But you can, it's hard to say forget about romance, but a long-term relationship with any other human being without any accountability, without being able to say, listen, I'm sorry. Not I'm sorry you felt that way. How about I'm sorry? You know? Yeah, how about that? Acknowledgement, accountability. You say sorry to me, bro, I promise it all goes away. You don't say sorry, you don't think you're sorry? What are you, fucking perfect? And I guess all the shit is on me, right? That's what it is, right? I'm the man, right? That means I have to be 100% wrong 98% of the time. And the 2% time that you're wrong, you ain't going to be like, oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It's crazy. So imagine being even friends with somebody like that for a long period of time. And then even being financially attached to them. Yes, it comes down to the money. Somebody who's incapable of owning their own stuff and that you're always to blame. Somehow it just ends up being your fault. Or they'll say some shit like this. This is their accountability. Swear to God, these are true words. Like, you know what? I blame me. I don't blame you. I blame me because I let you do all this stuff and I didn't say anything. So really it's my fault. I'm the one who put up with this shit. I'm like, fuck, man, that is like the most backhanded, like, you know, what is that? What is that? You know? That's the thing. That's going to be the name of the episode. It's not me, it's me. You know, it's not me, it's me because of you. You know? So yeah, midlife crisis. And you wonder why. You know? You wonder why. Then the guy's out there with just somebody who either A, you know, they haven't been in a relationship with that person long enough for them to start fucking with him. Or B, he knows how to set all these, you know, leave the breadcrumb trails around so he doesn't have to deal with that, you know, at all. You would think, you know, it's like men were so easily, you know, for us to be, I don't know, for us to be happy, yeah, for us to be happy, what has to be done? I don't know. What do we need? What do men really need to be happy? Everybody's different. You know? I know what I need. And I get it. You know what I get? I get fucking space. That's what I get. I get the space to be who I want to be. And I think that's everything. That's worth more than anything else. I get the space to be who I want to be. That means, yes, running marathon or half marathon, fucking going to AA meetings whenever I need to go, whenever I want to go, not even need to, whenever I want to go, going to the gym, having a business, being dedicated to the businesses that we have, doing all this stuff, you know, all the spiritual hocus pocus that I have to do, going to therapy. Like, dude, my girl is never like, oh my God, you work too much. Fucking never. That doesn't exist. You know, because it's my responsibility to learn how to do the balance and learn how to incorporate them into a life together. But that's why we do everything. We do it together, you know. But it's never. I'm never like, oh, I have to go do this, this, and this, and then never like, again. Like that doesn't. Those conversations do not fucking happen, and nobody. That's what I mean. Like I get space. What's it called? And you know, I get space, and I get to be who I fucking want to be. And I think what happens is that like expectations have, you know, basically built up this idea of what men should be or how they should be. So a man, you're coming, if you have two parents and they've been together since they were 20, so you find somebody in your fucking 20, you're doing what they did. You found somebody in your 20s and you think you're going to fucking do it. But they're they came from another time. They're set on different principles. There's no Instagram where you're looking at hoes and you're looking at whatever. There's no DMs. There's no any of that stuff. The temptation. There's no, there's the joy of simple life. That's what, the older generation had. It was a Chris Rock observation. He says the reason why older people, they stayed together is because, your dad goes to work and your mom can't fucking call him all day. They don't see or speak to each other until he fucking gets home. And that means your mom has a whole life that is outside of the home also. She goes to work. He ain't calling her 4 times, texting all day, all this other shit that they don't have that much access to each other. And then maybe maybe they're grateful when they're around. My girl, maybe throughout the whole day, I text her 5 or 6 times. And mostly it's just me letting her know where I'm going or what's going on in case something happens. Like, oh, I'm going to this meeting. I'm going to the gym. I'm picking up little boo. I got this thing. I got this other thing. So that way, just so she knows, like if something happened like that, I'm not around. And so I don't disappear for hours and hours, but we're not even having conversations. I'm doing my thing. She's doing her fucking thing. I think that's important. But also, hold on. We're not under the delusion that, that it could be some other way and work for us. And it really does work for us. And we had to go through our own struggles to get here. But we have these honest conversations with each other where we're just like, can you fucking imagine being married at 22, 25, 27? You're like 27. Maybe if you don't have any kind of hang-ups and you're just doing the straight arrow, Gennaro life, maybe you can get married at 25 or 27 and then just have some kids, and the kids and the house and the mortgage and all that other stuff distracts you from yourself. So you don't even know if you're being happy anymore. You're personally being happy. Your happiness as a man is being able to provide for other people. I provide a platform for my children to have good experiences. They can have, within reason, anything they want. But 100%, anything that they need, we do not struggle for. Because that's my fucking job. I don't want them to be like, yo, I need this, and I don't have it. That's a fear of mine. That I don't have it, or I can't get to it. Even if I don't have it, I have people in my life that will be like, okay, you can hold this, and you can do that. So, yeah. Young people, when you're my age, you're like, geez, I was a fucking chimp when I was 25. Even though I was a parent already. But I definitely wasn't anybody's husband. And I could not do that. So if you just stayed together from then until now, it is no surprise that this shit is hanging on by a string. Now, sometimes all of that stuff happens, and then at the end, or towards this time, or, when the kids start leaving the house or whatever, then all of a sudden, you're like, wow, we just came through this fucking battle, this war together. Now it's just me and you can be reintroduced to your partner in a loving, wonderful, renewable way, if that's the right thing. But if there's all this fucking bitterness because the man didn't have his space, or the woman didn't have their space. I don't know. I'm going to say this, and maybe somebody will give me a slap. But there's not that many happy women out there. They're just not. That I've seen. They're like miserable in some way. And that way has something to do with somebody else and not with themselves. You are responsible for your own happiness. And they're like, there's a whole gang of women that are my age that are just like, I'm independent, I don't need no man, and blah, blah, and all this other stuff. I'm like, dude, you acting like having a man is a bad thing. Having a partner is a bad thing. Like, no, you only have experience with shitty men, not with real ones. Like a real man who has grown into being a man who is like, no, these are my principles and these are my values and this is what I'm doing and I'm going to be bringing something to the table. And, oh, you're going to be bringing something too? Great. I am not going to be in your way and you're not going to be in my way. And then we're going to have separate lives and then we're going to come together and we'll have a life together. Like, it's like, no, man, they, yeah, like I said, lack of accountability. So they're out there, single, whatever, talking about there's no good men or some shit. Or men are threatened by them. Men are not threatened. We can be intimidated. That's possible. We can be intimidated. But we're not threatened. A real man is not threatened in any way. I can be intimidated in this way. Where, like, I have such a good partnership and I'm the best woman on earth. And I mean that. And if you think that you do, good for you, because that's what you're supposed to believe. Like, it will not get better there is nothing better than what I have. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have it. So I'm intimidated in some ways when, something could happen and it could go away. The likelihood is so small. One of us would have to die. That's what I believe. And my girl asked me that. She's like, what if it changes? I was like, nothing changes for me going backwards. Things change going forwards. I don't go backward. I go forward. So I'm only going to grow closer to you. I'm only going to grow closer to God. I'm only going to grow closer to myself. That's the way that I grow. I'm in a program of self-improvement. That's what my whole life is. That's what the exercise is. That's what the diet is. That's what the therapy is. That's what all my friends are. My friends are positive, fucking good people. Even the ones that came out of the street. If they're still in the street, I don't fuck with them. But most of the time, they're done being in the street. Yo, listen, some of my closest friends, bro, they're like 2-time felons. And that's okay. And they're lovely human beings. And if I didn't tell you, if they didn't tell you, you would never know. They're the nicest, warmest, most reformed, redeemed people on this earth that you could ever meet. Because they changed their life around. They value their freedom and they value their principles and they value other people, blah, blah, blah. So those are the people who I surround myself with. So yeah, like all these like bitter women, it's just like, it just makes me, I don't even want to say anything to them when I see it. I'm like, no, bro. Half of the reason why you are not happy is because of you. And until you take accountability for that, then, what kind of changes can you make? So with the midlife crisis, what it was, or what it is a lesson in betrayal. Like your grandiose or whatever, your dreams of how you think your life is going to turn out, it don't turn out like that. And you fight it. You're like, I don't understand. I'm doing all of this stuff. Why isn't any of the shit that I want happening? Because life doesn't work like that. Then you have this awakening. And you're like, well, if it don't work like that, then I just need to do what the fuck I want to do. And not like in a negative way, but like in a surrendering way. Or like, I'm just going to do, bro, I'm going to do what I want. I don't want to have this job anymore. I want to start this other career. I want to do this. I want to be free. So you break out of that mold. You break out of that mold. And maybe that happened to me as I was talking with John and his, I forgot his boy's name, but he was a nice kid. And I feel bad because I did a lot of the rambling on his show. Hopefully they'll edit some of that stuff out. Because I really, I emptied the clip. But yeah, like maybe in my early 30s, I started to find myself more. And then as I got into the relationship that I'm in now, that's when I really found myself. So 43, so maybe let's say 32, 33. I was like, bro, this is like, look, if I'm going to have this life, I want to have it my way. Meaning not like my priorities. My priorities is my happiness. You see all this stuff on Instagram and all this stuff. There's motivational shit where they're like, dude, a man really wants above everything else is his peace. When a man gets to that thing, he's like, dude, I don't want the fucking chick that needs, that comes with all this, the super, I guess I don't even want to say super hot because my chick is a fucking 12, But, somebody that has all of that exterior stuff that maybe they need the Gucci bag and they need all of this. Is Gucci even a thing anymore? They need all this high-end shit. They need to be in a Mercedes or a BMW or whatever, and they have all these expectations and they don't really invest into things that won't give them that material success. And the dude gets to a place where he's like, bro, none of that stuff matters. You know what matters to me? Security, peace of mind, sleeping well at night, having good times, eating good food. That's what the goal is. The money, this other stuff, it will help. And as a man, you should always chase the bag. You'll never hear me not say that. You need to go out there and you need to get to it. Especially if you are a family person. If you have kids and you have a woman that you are helping to provide for, you need to go out there and get the bag. So that way you can help provide them with some financial stability. That's what you need to do. That's part of your job as a man. I'm sorry if, the gender roles or whatever. It's fucking bullshit. The gender roles ain't. Women don't want to be equal when the bill comes at the restaurant. All of a sudden they're like, ooh, yeah. There's somebody else, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. So yeah, the midlife crisis, I believe, is that. And it's that transition to building for a man to start to be like, dude, I want happiness above everything else. And the shit that don't make me happy, I need to start unwinding that. Don't ever front on your kids. That I don't subscribe to. If you're not taking care of your kids, I don't even want to be friends with you. I don't even want to know you. If you don't take care of your kids, I don't even want to. You could front on your woman all you want. It's up to you. But you can't never front on your kids. I never fronted on my son. Ever. Even if I was not 100% being there, physically, mentally, emotionally, because I was inebriated, he was, that's a phone call that I can't take. That's my son's boo. She's probably calling me to say happy birthday or something. I don't know. But either way, so, that's what I think that midlife crisis is a man surrendering and being born again into a new man. And maybe the delusion is that they think it's going to be like that young chick or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they are buying peace of mind with that. Because they're just like, listen, this girl don't know me 20 years enough to be nagging me the way that my ex-wife does. She don't fucking, I don't let her that close enough to me that she could be a pain in the ass because I can just push a button, she'll be gone, I'll get another one. So in that sense, he's just pacifying some of that pain, and he's just, becoming back to himself. And then eventually he'll fall back on his feet and he'll be like, okay, I need a partner. Somebody who I like to do things with on a long-term basis, not just actual quote-unquote dating. So I could never be out there dating right now. Trying to get to know somebody, oh my God, I'll fucking throw up. There's no way. I would be like ruthless. I don't even know. I would just almost be like disinterested. I put in so much effort into getting to know and falling in love with my woman that I don't, dude, trying to repeat that with somebody else? No way. No way, dude. That is not for me. And my girl said the same thing. She's like, oh yeah, if we broke up or whatever, she's like, I would just be single forever. She's like, I already spoke about it. We laugh about it with the kids. I'm like, yeah, me too, man. I would never, I wanna have partnership and this other stuff, but I'm already in my own happiness, and I don't need to be giving that kind of shit up for anybody, And that's what I think it is. I think, just about our age, maybe late 30s, early 40s. This is when men are finally ready to settle down and just go for happiness. Peace of mind. Just don't fuck with me. Give me my space and don't fuck with me, and I'll be here. I'll be here. And, if you don't know how to cook that great, by this time in my life, I need to have learned how to do it for myself. Laundry we can always send out. Like I don't need a woman to do for me anything that I can pay somebody to do. I can buy my meals. I don't do my laundry. I can clean my own house, or I can pay somebody to do it. I need a partner there for all the other things. Somebody to work with me, somebody to let me be as ambitious as I want to be, and who will support that. And I will in turn support them in all of their ambitions. That's what I have. That's what I want. So either way, all right. We're going to cut this thing short. Well, it's not really short. What is it? Almost, we're at the 48-minute mark. We got some good opportunities coming up. We got some good episodes coming up. We have some good guests. Other things we're going to start to do. I'm going to try and have my boy John on here that I went and did his show. Any of you other clowns out there want to come sit down with the king, you know how to get a hold of me. You can find us a Spiritual Experience on Instagram. Also, email address, which has been good, man. I've been having some good volleys with people. And like I said, I don't even know if some of that shit should be public. But spiritualexperience79@gmail.com. Yeah, we'll see you guys on the flip side. I love you all. Peace. Okay, everybody, we'd like to thank you for joining us on the Spiritual Experience. Please don't forget to like and subscribe on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, Pandora, everywhere. And please find us on Facebook, where you can become part of our family. We'll see you around.